everybody from Cordell, Georgia. We are heading up to Griffin, Georgia, which is south of Atlanta. Do our pickup, head to Connecticut. Oh yeah. But let's talk brokers today. And I recently watched a panel discussing brokers where they had a mega carrier, medium carrier, and a owner op. And they also were talking about a recent survey and how owner ops don't have their priorities in line. And what they said was, the mega carriers, let's start with them. The mega carrier says, what's your priority list for a load? Okay. The first thing they said was, what is it? What's the commodity? The second thing they ask is, or their second priority on this list was, how much does it weigh? Their third priority on this list was, what's the pickup and delivery time? What's the time frame on this load? And then the last thing was, the rate. So the same survey with owner operators was, the first thing on their list was the rate. So I believe, and the mega carriers were all saying that us owner operators have our priorities. Our priorities are not in order. Well, let's talk about this. For them, they have a broker calling them up, dead calling and saying, we have a load. So obviously, they're going to ask, what is it? Where's it going? What's it worth? And then, what are you asking to get this load moved? For us owner-operators working off the spot market on the load board, we already know all this information. It's on the load board. Where it's going, the pickup delivery time, what it weighs, what's the commodity. We already know all this. We know it all before we call them. So I do believe this study was skewed because if working off the spot market, all the information is there, and you can decide, hey, this time frame's too tight. I can't do this. And some of these owner operators, they just don't care. They'll show up a day late. They don't care. They don't have enough hours to do the load. They'll stop and do a 34 in the midst of a load. They just don't care. But you should care. So, obviously, when we call up, we already know the commodity. We already know where it's going. We already know the pickup and delivery time. Let's just cut to the quick. What's it pay? What are you asking? And then, we can make our decision from there. We can look and see what the 15-day average for that load is before you even call. That means nothing as well, because if capacity is high in that area, you might not get anywhere near the 15-day average. If capacity is low and they need the load moved, you can get quite a bit more than the average. So it goes once again to, you gotta do your homework, right? You gotta think about how this poll works. Yeah. The skewed poll. did our delivery in Georgia, did our pickup in Georgia. I was going to film the pickup because there's like a giant pothole there. I watched it rip a fairing off a Freightliner last time I was there, but they paved the parking lot, or the loading dock area, so took all the fun out of that, huh? But we are back in Latta.
Take exit 181B on the right.
South Carolina.
South Carolina 38 West.
Latta, South Carolina. At the Pilot we stayed at the other night. That was mostly empty. Let's hope for the same.
In 1/2 mile, arrive at 1504 Highway 38 West on the right.
And I am cooking kielbasa and sauerkraut in the lunchbox cooker. And man, is this stinking up the truck. I don't know if I want to eat it now. Yeah, I'll eat it. Yep, mostly empty. Score. You hear the steering noise getting louder. 10,000 miles after the repair.
In 300 feet, arrive at 1504 Highway 38 West on the right.
Thank you. All kinds of spots. And I guess all these guys are going to park right up here in the few-wire turnaround zone when there's a ton of empty spots. Which way you going, big guy? These empty spots. Yeah. Maybe we'll park back here under the lights this time. I can run my APU all night and not bother anybody. Or we'll get closer. A lot of wide loads in here. Just out of curiosity, is there any real close? Right on the end? So we're not set up right? So here's how we do this. 90 jack. Let's straighten it out a little. Get it perfectly in these tight lines. Alright, that was that. Check back in at 4 a.m. when we start driving again. Yeah.